Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. It's your brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Alright. Peace to the God. What's happening? What's goody? How's everybody doing tonight? Before we begin, this stream is sponsored by Twin the Album. You can find that on twinthealbum.com. It's very simple. We'll be on streaming services tonight. You could go ahead and stream your heart out. Go and stream this album. Scorpion King will be up there right around the time Drake drops his album Scorpion. Because, yeah, we're competing. We're going to remaster Scorpion King, and we'll have that bitch right on the streaming services. So when Drake album finish playing, they'll say, oh, if you like this, then you may like Scorpion King. Voila. You see how easy that was? I'm already checking the statistics on the searching results. I'm checking the metadata, Google Trends, and Scorpion, the word Scorpion, that shit is skyrocketing. He didn't even drop his album yet. So we're going to take advantage of that. But for right now, we have this album on our website. You know, I'm not really a big streamer. I don't believe in that shit. I don't know what it, it's just a radio. Streaming is basically saying, it's just a way to get on playlists and whatever and get discovered. But the real support is in the physical album when you buy the album. A lot of people is like, yo, I don't got no CD player. Nigga, I didn't ask you to, you don't have to play the album on your CD player. Get the album because it's a collector's item. You know what I'm saying? You niggas are not rooting for legends. Like, you must not think that 10 years from now, 5 years from now, that these people, that this person is sitting in front of this camera, his value is not going to be more than what it is right now. You're under that impression that this shit is going to, art appreciates in value. And, the goal is to continue to be art in the living flesh. So as long as you stay on an artistic path or artistic road, or you're on your artistic grind, you're going to increase in value. So stay tapping into the arts and sciences. And if you believe in what it is that you see being done, if you've been watching what we've been doing over the last 10 years and you know that we worked our weight in gold, then buy the motherfucking album. This shouldn't even have to be a commercial. Don't even open it. You know what I'm saying? If you buy it online from the website, we autograph it. Me and Blue Pill put our John Hancock pause on the CD and then send it to you. That way, later on down the line, your ass have an autographed copy from Red and Blue. You can sell that shit on eBay if you're behind some of your bills. Maybe child support is kicking you up the ass. Merch is coming. We have exclusive twin merch, and we bringing out Scorpion King capsules. We're bringing out Scorpion King merch 2 years later. When we remaster the album and re-release it, we're going to have that Scorpion King merch. So if you like the album cover Scorpion King, you like the symbol on that, we'll prepare to wear that on a shirt. We have the twin visors, like, summertime visors with the twin. We're going to have the twin track suits or the warm-up suits and the t-shirts. Shout out to my brother A.A. Rashid. A.A. Rashid was featured on a powerful album today. It's going to be some people are already calling it a hip-hop classic, West Side Gun. They have the AA outro, and he's on there talking his shit. You know what I mean? He's talking that AA, not the Kabbalah God. He's talking that AA shit. He's talking about merchandising. He's talking about commodifying your merchandise in this new era where there's a renaissance. The narrative is that there's a renaissance. And inside of a renaissance, there's a league of distinguished gentlemen and women who steer the culture. They curate the culture. They lift the value of the culture to a certain degree. So Westside Gunn is signed to Shady. They're signed to Eminem's label, along with their label called Griselda, I think. So my bro AA is on a Shady. AA Rashid is on a Shady release. You know what I mean? That's going places. We need AA in London. We need AA in Japan. We need AA to be heard in places where his mind and his art will be appreciated, because that brother, he has a priceless mind along with other people in our circles. So I feel happy for my bro. I want him to definitely, be recognized for his intellect, being that there's, he's been in the community, but unfortunately a lot of people in the community, they don't really check for the brother. That's a whole nother story. I guess they're not into the Kabbalah and the level of teaching that he does. What up, Corey? You know what I mean? So shout out to that bro. Shout out to my brother Bada. You know what I'm saying? Bada got a bunch of new things popping up in guest features. That album Kambala, that's a must. You know what I mean? That's something that you definitely should be going out to either download or purchase a physical copy, along with the other album that he put out, the 6-song EP Holy Ghost with Brother Rich. Shout out to Brother Rich, Black Magic 363. That shit is legendary. You know what I mean? So if your tape deck don't got Twin the Album, Holy Ghost, Kambala, Dog Food from AA, well, goddamn it, what kind of soundtrack are you niggas listening to? Like, what are you jamming to? Let me know, cause I'm on the other side. You know what I'm talking about? I'm over here with the heathens in them. Let me know what you listening to on a daily basis, and don't hit me with that I don't listen to hip hop anymore. Dip from my life. What the fuck are you talking? What do you listen to? Soca? What are you listening to? If you don't listen to hip hop, what are you listening to? Huh? Light FM? I'm right now talking to niggas that listen to hip hop, that deal with the boom bap. Motherfuckers that didn't dip. You can't run from hip hop because the radio is playing corny music when there's 8 million artists out there. You just have to be able to filter. You have to be able to filter the fuck niggas or the garbage from real shit, because real shit will never die. Energy never dies. No one ever really dies. Energy just transfers. It goes places. So if the Wu ain't popping, Wu-Tang not popping no more, my nigga, whatever energy was hovering above them, that was filtering rhymes to them like Tetris blocks, that shit moved to another region and somebody else is pulling it down. Yeah, go to Pandora. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever give up on hip hop. If that's like saying I'm giving up on myself. If you niggas are 30 years old and under, you don't even have the right to talk about you're not in hip hop when you're born into hip hop. That's in your DNA. Nigga, what was your parents listening to when you was in the womb? That's why I could never say I'm not listening to jazz no more, or jazz is corny, or R&B is corny. No, I came up on that. That's my foundation. So even if I had a childhood that I'm not necessarily, because I had a great childhood, but let's use an example. If I had a childhood that I don't like to remember, what the fuck does the music have to do with that? You know what I mean? Like, did the music do something to you? So the music is your foundation. I could understand how some people don't want to hear certain songs because the music is like a time traveling vessel. It takes you back to places. So I could hear a song from the 80s and I could automatically time travel to the same place where I was at when I heard the song for the first time. There are some songs that made an impression that I still remember where I was, what I was doing, what my mother was talking about, all of that. You know what I mean? What my father might have been saying, what was on TV that day. Like, I have that vivid imagination, and music timestamps these memories for you. So if you have a negative memory attached to the music, then I would understand. But I can never say, "Oh, I'm throwing away my foundation." No, this is what built me up. This is what made me. This is pieces of man. It's funny that you say that you remember Public Enemy Fight the Power, because I remember hearing Public Enemy's Yo Bum Rush the Show when I went to I used to go and see my mother in Harlem on the weekends when we were little, and this was like '86, and we were in the kitchen right there on 153rd and St. Nick, and that shit came on, Mr. Magic Show, and I'm like, yo, I'm listening to all of the instruments and the lyrics, and even as a young child, I still had a mind that was, groomed to pick up on militant things and quote unquote woke shit and consciousness because of my mother's training, because of Sabi, Dr. Sabi, because even my biological, my father will always instill the culture or always instill the history or always instill cultural pride. Not that other shit, not that pride shit, cultural pride. Being proud to be a Native American, being proud to be an Aboriginal, being proud to have ties to the continent, all of these things. So I would never throw that away. I would never talk down to that. You know what I'm talking about? Even though mad white people run jazz right now, I still respect the fundamentals. I still respect the originators, the OGs. So if you don't like the new rap, just go back and listen to the plethora of musical catalogs that was prepared for your funky ass. No, and the Japanese, the Koreans, and the Chinese, and everybody else have used it for their benefit, but it was made for you. There's all kind of codes and there's all kind of lessons. There's all kind of morals. Niggas just get doctorates on. They go to get degrees and they act like they're better than the hip hop or the message in the music, or they think that they're smarter than MCs because that nigga don't got. Because you found out that Dr. Dre wasn't really a doctor. So niggas go and get put into hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You know what I mean? And they start stunning on the rappers. And that's where you went wrong. You know what I mean? The rappers raised up a lot of our people and gave them not deep messages or super woke deep shit. They just gave them the fundamentals of how to survive day to day. They gave them the basic instructions before leaving Earth. You know what I'm talking about? Some artists were guilty of being Pied Pipers, and they gave them instructions that when people followed them verbatim, it put them in a jail cell and gave them life, or put them in a potter's field, buried with no name because they couldn't afford to be buried. That's the negative aspect of it. But there's also some people that got put through school. There's also some people that got put through, they got put through academies and things like that. You know what I'm talking about? They got put through all of these things. Shout out to Pittsburgh. It was like a rush of people from Pittsburgh that were visiting our table on 125th Street across the street from the Apollo. That's when we're out there, usually on Fridays and Saturdays. Everybody, like just different vendors and whatnot. Nova Felder, sometimes Sonetta pops up, Baba TV, and people from Pittsburgh kept coming through. And they were like, yo, you need to come to Pittsburgh. You need to come to Pittsburgh. They know you. They be, you and your brother are well known in Pittsburgh. And I told them that I'm going to do everything in my powers to get to Pittsburgh, because I'm going back to what I say. It's just that there's just a handful of promoters that we've successfully worked with over the decades. There's just a handful of promoters, you know what I'm saying? So that game, the promoter game, to me, is completely broken. It doesn't work. Like the lecture promoter / bring different people to your state, it doesn't. The old paradigm is broken. So the new paradigm demands that whatever brand or whatever teacher or whatever organization or whatever scholar has to go to a different state, they're gonna have to do it themselves. Now, I don't know if that applies for everybody, but from what I'm looking at, the people who are doing the people who are moving around America, they're booking themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're booking themselves. There's no one promoter that's dominating this field, that's taking care of everybody and booking them and serving communities. Because if you a promoter and you live in a state where niggas is dropping every day, where there's no answers, motherfuckers is going backwards because they're being traumatized and terrorized and all kind of things, where the level of ignorance and the people are walking around in a zombified state, and the level of ignorance is so thick that you could cut it with a machete, and you're a promoter who's sitting on money or you have $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. Let's say that you a nigga in one of these states and you sitting on disposable income. You might be sitting on 10 racks, 20 racks, you and your team. And you see all of the carnage go around you, but you keep your nose inside of your phone. You always online. You're always on Facebook. You're always on Instagram. You're always on YouTube, listening to the scholars, getting answers from them and receiving life. But you won't break bread and bring none of the fucking teachers in. You won't reach out to none of these scholars and say, yo, I got a rack. Nigga, a rack. Like, a rack. You could blow that in motherfucking in Walmart in like an hour. A rack, bro. You could blow the rack at a bar in one fell swoop. Yo, let me get 2 bottles. That's a rack, bro. You could pay down for a section to show off, and you know what I'm saying, to stand on the couch and whatnot and show off in front of everybody. The section cost $10,000 at the compound in Atlanta. I remember being there in 2012. I went there. It was the Jay-Z Kanye Watch the Throne after party. Niggas paid $10,000 for one section. Bottle service. 10,000 cash, large. Niggas counted out 10 racks cash in front of me. So I know me personally, I'm one of the cheapest teachers in the field. I should be getting 10,000. I should be getting 5,000 for all of the work that we've been doing over the decade. I only want a measly $1,000. And these promoters and people who are called organizers, they keep failing y'all. I'm putting that shit on their necks. I'm putting it on their shoulders. They fail y'all. Chicago, the Carolinas, Florida, you know what I'm saying? I guess we got to throw Pittsburgh in there. I'm naming all of the states where people be calling me up, just talking, bro. Yo, we gonna, how much you want? Word? It's almost like when you give them that number or your numbers, it's like, I don't know, it's not too much, because it don't sound like they be like, damn, that's a lot, bro. It's like too less. It's like not enough for them. So they don't even, you know what I mean? There's no follow-up. And then I got to sit back and look at the news, or I got to sit back and look at social media and all of these states. There's all kind of crazy problems that could be avoided if the 10 people or the 30 people or the 300 people or the 500 people who were conscious in those cities or in those states got together and stop and take their heads out of their asses and stop being so fucking cliquey and stop working against each other and finally work for each other. There's a lot of dick riding going on in different states based off of this internet fuckery where you niggas be choosing sides and you be on bandwagons and you be holding other niggas nuts and whatnot, and you don't want to break bread with the people who are out here fire burning this shit, burning this bitch down. You on YouTube watching niggas like you know what I'm saying, like a peeping Tom, but you won't break bread with your brothers. And when you break bread with niggas, you be on some janky shit, janky promoters. Niggas will bring you in town and treat you like a bum. Niggas will bring you to their town and treat you like a fucking, like a third world citizen. Put you in a Motel 8, you know what I mean? Pick you up late, don't have nothing available, no projector, no microphone, no cameras, nothing. What the fuck did you bring me out here for? You see what we do in Harlem? Simple shit. Niggas got a tripod, a microphone, and a camera. It ain't no My First Sony. It's not no rinky dink shit. We're not even putting on big productions. And you can't even level up to that? Niggas can't get a tripod in the building? Like, the motherfucker can't get a projector out of you? So, that's the skinny on a lot of these niggas. There shouldn't be no city in America where the murder, you print out all of the murder capitals. Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, Milwaukee, Texas. Well, I don't know too much about Texas being a murder capital, but Cleveland. Everywhere there's a murder capital, you motherfuckers should be having something once a week. You motherfuckers should be having something twice a week. I mean, twice a month, at least. A bi-monthly lecture series, workshop, seminar. Prayer circle. I don't give a fuck. Bring a nigga in and start preaching for y'all. Why don't you bring some of the quote unquote African traditionalists that they could cut some goats to pieces or some fucking chickens or whatever and put some goddamn good spells over your people? Something. All of these militant conscious niggas, why don't you bring them into your town for some strategies or some shit to teach the people how to protect themselves? To teach the people how to be more militant. Because I don't really believe them niggas, they haven't swatted a fly in front of the people. They haven't even killed the bug in front of the people. And you niggas be running around thinking that these niggas are built like that. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing. But you could still try to work with them. You niggas don't even do that. So the promoters have failed your cities. They let your cities down, bro. I'm just here to let you know the promoters are not breaking any kind of bread when it's nobody. Like, truth be told, the way that this shit works, the promoters, you don't even come out your pockets. It's all pre-sale. Like, you don't gotta pay anything. Because if a motherfucker says, yo, this is how much I want, you know how many people that person could bring to the door, and the people are gonna pay them. They're gonna be the ones to pay. You're not paying out of your pocket. So I don't see what the holdup is. I don't see, and it's not even red pill. There's like 50 teachers, and none of them niggas is getting booked. Nobody. I don't see nobody popping, going anywhere. And the people who are going places are spending the money, their own pocket money, to book themselves. It's not hard to do. They're the ones that are putting themselves out there. The promoters are not putting them out there. They're not pooling their resources together and putting money in any of these teachers' pockets. But Lil Wayne could get 10 racks on a walkthrough. They're booking all of the trap rappers. They're booking the mumble rappers. They're booking all of the niggas that's going to come to your city and tell you how to kill each other and how to sell drugs to niggas' moms and whatnot and how to run up on niggas' girlfriends and try to fuck them. That's what they're paying for. I bet you the promoters got money for that. So everybody knows that the people are under a deep spell. So why don't y'all invest in the motherfucking Ghostbusters? Everybody knows that there's ghosts in your town, but you're not spending no money to bring in the Ghostbusters. You're not investing in Ghostbusters. So we pay a lot of money to get spells put on us, but we don't want to break no bread to get the spells taken from us. That's why black people is in the place that they are these days. We spend all of this money investing in the spell. Niggas don't spend a coin to break the spell. That's the state that I see our people in right now. You don't want to invest in your motherfucking upliftment. You don't want to invest in your evolution. You don't want to invest in your revolution. You don't want to invest in your upgrade because everybody's self-centered. They only want to worry about them. It's about me and my family. I thought we was family though. I gotta feed my seeds. Well, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? How many seeds did you got? You niggas is living in poverty consciousness. I thought we lived in abundance. I thought we was KINGZ. I thought we was queens. You know what I mean? I thought you niggas was using all of the shit that you learned from your favorite YouTube scholar to get money or to get resources. So what's the holdup? So for the cities that are suffering, that are deeply under the spell, if you could break the spell and you in your city, break the spell. But you niggas need to show some receipts. We got to see that the work is being done. Because one of the mistakes that people make is y'all think that there's one answer to all of your motherfucking problems, or that there's just one approach to solve all of the problems. You could do a rally, you could do a march, you could go to the town hall meeting and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You could be fake mad and whatnot and all of that shit. But when has that changed the course of anything going on in our communities over the past 30 to 40 years? Please let me know. You know what I mean? Tangible results. I'm talking about transfer of power. I'm talking about when you ain't have no power on Monday, and by Thursday you niggas was powered up. And I'm not talking about your electricity. You know, I'm not talking about Con Ed. I'm talking about real power. I'm talking about the fact that you can make things happen. You can move things around. How do you acquire power? By sitting around and complaining to white people who are looking at you like you're a fucking peon, right? Because they know that anything worth having is worth taking. You ain't coming to take, nigga. So you could go have a seat over there. Take a number. Because you niggas are coming in asking for shit when these Mexicans and niggas is in front of you taking shit. Yeah, go have a seat. We'll get to you in a minute. That's how it's working. Who is working on acquiring power? In a time where it's all about power. 50 Cent was on to something. It's all about power, bro. You don't think that the Mexicans are becoming more powerful as a result of some of their people being held in cages? You don't think that they're going to power grab as a result of that? You don't think that they're taking advantage of this negative press and to make moves? It was that power that made Trump run and do he went and tried to do an executive order and whatnot. You know, they full of tricks. You can't trust them at all. They're going to say, we'll sign some shit, which could put you in more purgatory. It could put you in a deeper hole. But it's all for the cameras. And this is a camera. This is a personality. Donald Trump is what you call a reality show personality. So throughout all of the years, he understood the power of editing. He understands the power of the camera. He understands how propaganda works through reality television, because reality television is propaganda. Reality television is the Matrix. Reality television is a way to script things to show the world we could create a storyline that's not real. So he's doing that with the presidency, and he's doing that when he's signing these bills, and he's doing these empty ass, these empty gestures to quell or to calm down the restless natives. That's all he's doing. So, but that was political power that even put him in that position that he had to address the fact that they were putting Mexicans in cages. And the fact, because they're not bringing this up, that 1,500 of their babies are missing. Because remember, the conversation is going on right now is how do we connect the children that we separated with the parents? And Trump and them is like, that's not going to happen. You know why? Because those children are missing. You know where those children are? In the meat grinder. If they're not in the meat grinder, them niggas is sold. Oh, you thought that Libya was the only place that was carrying on slavery these days? 75,000 women, predominantly of color or melanin, 75 large, not 7,500, 75,000 women and girls, or women and their daughters, are missing in America as I speak right now. Oh, don't get excited, black men. There's 1 million of you niggas missing. So we saw the movie Get Out. We heard certain rumors and shit about the dark web and how they're selling people on the dark web and how they are definitely raping women on the dark web, and you could utilize bitcoins on these in these encrypted rooms. Remember, the dark web or the deep web is 90% of the known internet. You're only operating on 10% of the known internet. That's all of the apps that you use. That's all of the websites. There's 90% of that bitch that's hidden. Because you niggas is all into metaphysics and you understand about the dwarf star or the hidden one, the moon principle. Well, 90% of the internet is hidden. Guess who's hiding it and why they're hiding it? Why do white people hide things? Let's just talk, because this ain't no niggas doing this. Why do white people hide things? What are they hiding from you in plain sight? They're hiding their debauchery. They're hiding their purge. They're hiding your fucking extermination in plain sight, while everybody's worrying about the surface, because the surface is the propaganda. Because what? 90% of war is what? Deception. So 10% that they're showing you on the visible internet, yeah. But the 90% is all deception. It's all hidden. It's dark web. The government made that. That's why you have judges getting arrested for child porn. You have lawyers. You have ICE border agents getting arrested. Police captains, firefighters. All of these city municipality workers are getting arrested for child porn. The child porn and all of that is on the dark web. And most of the people that are getting arrested, those are people that were being whistleblowers, and they just set them up and just emailed them a link. And then when they open up the link, it's child porn. Then the FBI go rush the crib and then take the computers and take all of the information and put them under, a gag order where they don't blow the whistle. It's crazy out there. They are, like the sister Tashara said, they're cannibals. They eat people. They eat. I mean, I could ask a black woman who dated a white man. Don't they try to eat you at night? Don't they fetish you so much that they try to eat you at night? They eat you so much that black women are so turned on by the twirling epidemic because white men are known to eat everything. White women, we call them eaters. The young boys call them eaters in the hood because they eat up everything like swine. Anything that comes out of you, they'll eat it up. I'm just saying. So these people, some of your odd fellows, some of your best friends, some of your co-workers, some of your mates, you understand? Some of your BAEs, Salt Bay, Vacay Bay, you know what I'm talking about? Snow Bay, Pinky Bay, all of the BAEs, right? They got some splaining to do. Because no nigga has ever come forward and give me a real secret that any of their white friends have ever told them. Because everything that they're telling you is, they're not telling you secrets. They're not giving you the real secrets. They're telling you old conspiracy theories that was on the internet for mad long. They're not giving you real secrets. Which one of your white BAEs gave you niggas a secret? Because y'all never came and told us anything worth knowing. Did they give you the ask them for the encryption password into the room where they're killing black women on the dark web? Ask them for the encryption password where they're raping black babies on the dark web. Ask them for the encryption password where they're selling the Mexicans that they stole from the border. They're selling the Puerto Ricans that they stole from Puerto Rico. They're selling the little niggas from Texas that they stole out of Houston, because the disaster relief, whenever they come in for disaster relief, they're stealing your people for their organs and for sex trafficking and slavery. Facts. And when they catch them at the border, they're taking them for sex trafficking and organs. When they catch them coming through the Mediterranean from Africa, and they got big ass ships that are catching them like they catch shrimps and whatnot with the goddamn net. Organs, motherfucking sex trafficking, and to eat a few of them at the end of the day. So tell me, which one of the people, because you letting white men ravage you, they're sticking everything inside of you. They're taking all of your motherfucking naivety from you. They're, you know how they say that a woman is sucking niggas' souls? They're soul snatching you niggas with that caviar pussy. So you gave up all of your sacredness. You gave up all of your yoni eggs, you know what I mean, to these white men and brothers on a reversal. What did they give you in return? Okay. You see my dad? He's like, yo, calm down. What did you get in return? What kind of sensitive information have you received? Do you know where the bodies are buried? Did you get any keywords? Did you get any passwords? I don't think so. Because y'all not coming to us with anything that's new under the sun, but they going buck wild on in their unseen world. The New York mayor did not even know they housed the babies and children in Harlem. Shit, that's news to me, Cafunia. I didn't know that. So imagine having your baby taken away from you. Well, this is happening every day in the foster care system. This is happening every day with the child protective services, because they're selling the children too. They have a whole list of children that are missing. They're putting the children in the sex industry too. Everybody is working in tandem. Them LBGT people are working in tandem with them people that's stealing kids and selling kids and raping kids and eating kids. That's their people that work for them, because they don't care about no damn kids. Go into any city agencies. The people who are doing the work for them are those people as well, these pride people that you'll see over the weekend in New York. Yeah, they're selling the children as well. They're down with that shit. They're on the deep web. They know about all that. Yeah, the church group that got caught in Haiti trying to take 33 children out there that was tied into, the Clintons and everything. Because she came personally, pulled up in a private jet on a G5, Hillary Clinton, and got out and came and got that woman and put her on a jet and took up off of there. So Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire who had his own island and he had his own plane called the Flying Lolita, they were taking young prostitutes and flying all around the world and just going in. He had Bill Clinton on his plane multiple times. All of them NGOs are the people that pop up, the white helmets, the non-governmental organizations, Red Cross, all of them are traffickers. All of them are organ harvesters. All of them work for the UN and whatnot, the United Nations, but they also work in tandem with the Zionists. They also work in tandem with a lot of wealthy people who are looking for organs, livers, lungs, eyes. You know what I'm talking about? Hearts. All of that. All of that. And they all are working in tandem. This is going to be the news that'll come out when the curtain continues to get pulled back. Maybe in the next 4 years. Maybe this will be bombshell 2020. But it's happening right now. It's happening right now. That young man in Texas who got kidnapped, and he said that there was a house full of weapons with the KKK, and they tried to kill him in that house. These are the locations. These are the places where a lot of these people are gentrifying in your community. But those houses are housing people. They're kidnapping and stealing people and housing them in these houses. That's their version of the bando. That's their version of the bando. So there was an interesting report that came out, and the thing with the information, how they disseminated, is this: there's nothing that's never really going on that they're going to completely hide from the people, right? They're obligated. They have an obligation to speak about what's going on, but the thing is, they don't speak about it 100 different times a week, a day, and they don't have it all over different channels as breaking news. There's specific slots where they'll slide in the information and then keep it moving and jump right back on the propaganda. So there was an article that said, something that I've been saying in my Fear of a Black and More Messiah lecture, that the birth rate of Europeans in the states specifically that are solar states. And when I say solar states, I mean states where the sun is always shining, right? These states have more white people or Europeans or Caucasians dying than they have being born. So they're predicting by 2045, right? They're predicting by 2045 that the population, the overall population of the Europeans or the Pilgrims or the Caucasians in America is going to diminish, right? It's going to diminish drastically, meaning that it's tanking as we speak, meaning that there's a complete crisis. There's a crisis. There's a birth to death mortality rate crisis in white America. How, Sway? They don't talk about that shit. You don't hear about that. You know what I'm saying? They put it out there briefly just to say we put it out there. We're not hiding the information. It's out there. But what are they focused on more so? Black death. They showed the young rapper killed in his car, 20 years old. They showed his lifeless body on TMZ. Tell me, did you see Paul Walker's body on TMZ? Did you see all of those people who supposedly hung themselves? The guy from, I don't know these rock and roll guys, Blink 182, I think it was. and the other guy. There was like three rock and roll dudes who recently died. Who there was the DJ, the white boy, the DJ. He got killed, right? There was the other guy from the rock and roll group. All of them supposedly had committed suicide, but each one of them, as it was rumored, were going to come out and talk about the child pedophile rings. They were going to expose where the missing girls are. They were going to speak about the human sex trafficking. Each one of them. Each one of them. Because in the industry, amongst these white artists and amongst these European crackers who are in the industry, they know about all of this stuff. It's bigger than Me Too. It's Me Too. Too. It's bigger than Me Too, where some pervert is sliding by a woman, you know what I mean, wearing a miniskirt to work, and he's brushing up on her with his little peckerwood. It's bigger than that, family. I mean, have a fucking, you know what I mean? They're normalizing their insanity with this punk ass Me Too shit. It's bigger than Me Too. They're eating people. They're eating people. So, did you ever see any of their white actors, actresses, because they die every day as well, musicians, politicians? Did you see Reagan's body? Did you see Nancy Reagan's body? Did you see Barbara Bush's body laying in the bed? But why did you see XXX Tentacion's body? Why do you see all of these black bodies? Why did you see the young boy get shot down? Why did you see the brother get shot down in his grandmother's backyard? Why did you see Walter Scott die? Why did you see Philandro Castile last breath? Why are they showing you Black Death? Because Black Death, when you see it on film, it triggers post-traumatic slave syndrome or post-traumatic stress disorder. And when stress disorder is showed to you, you know what I'm saying? They show Tupac on the table, on the autopsy table, with his chest cut open. Did you see Kurt Cobain with his brains blown out? Did you see that on the web? It's on the dark web. All of these pictures are on the dark web of all of the white people that are dead, because they take pictures of shit like that and they pass it around. They love that shit. But there's a whole site where the police upload pictures of their kills. There's like a Facebook of police kills, and they just go through all of the pictures. It's some crazy shit going on. You'll never know about that. You know what I'm talking about? You won't know about that. And for the black women who know about that, whose white boyfriends, who snow bays are on the dark web, like I said, y'all are traitors, so y'all not gonna talk about what you see anyway. You know what I mean? You've already signed over to the dark side. You've been dominated. You know what I'm saying? They dominated you. So you're almost like a sex slave. There's nothing that you can say, do. You only complain after y'all break up. Oh, he called me a nigga while he was spitting in my face and choking me during sex. Because you like that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, don't get all sacrilegious after the breakup. You actually like them to tie you up. You like them to do cosplay like you're a slave. You like all of that shit. That's why you're with them. You're on your 50 Shades and whatnot. You like to be dominated by you like to penetrate them and take advantage and, you know, do the weird shit that they like. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? But the Europeans, and then somebody, when I put the article up about the mortality rate, because the stories have always been there, it's just that we don't look for them. You know what I'm talking about? We're so worried about, because remember, if they show you Black Death, you're going to make it grow. You're going to make it a reality. You're pioneer, the quote unquote melanated man and woman. You create reality. If you don't realize that by now, it's hard, because you think white people do it. No, they feed you the suggestions. They feed you the information. They feed you the programming. You're the computer. You're creating this reality. They fed you the fact that you was inferior, and you created a reality where you damn sure was inferior. Because guess what? There was a time when you wasn't that inferior. You keep thinking that everything is with a broad brush. You keep thinking if they show niggas in a slavery state in one period of time, that was a blanket statement for all people. And that's not what it is. The same way that you could walk by a homeless person today and you smell them and you act like that they're not there. Well, God damn it. That same thing was happening where they had slaves and shit, or people who were, tattered and in slave-like states. But you had a clean motherfucker walking right by him like he didn't even see him. That's a fact. Everybody wasn't no goddamn slave. Everybody wasn't going. You had people in slavery-like conditions, and there was a black man with 3 guns on him with a white woman could walk right by, and nobody would say anything because they couldn't. Because we were standing up, defending ourselves, and we didn't take no shit. How dare you bird-ass niggas remember how tough your grandparents was. Remember how tough your great-great-grandparent, he would smack fire out of you for just looking stupid. You think that they was that soft back in the days? You don't realize niggas got softer as the generations went along. You've been effeminized. You know what I mean? As a result of Hollywood, as a result of the chemicals, as a result of the integration, as a result of the children going to their schools. That wasn't the case in certain times. Niggas was not soft like that. That's a fact. If dudes was knocking police out in the 80s, what the fuck you think they was doing in the 1800s? Y'all got the game messed up, bruh. Y'all got the game messed up. This is a recent spell that they put on you niggas to make all of you niggas feel like you were slaves, to make all of you niggas subservient, like you're the help, like you're the butler. That's post Alex Haley roots. Go and talk to any elders. Y'all don't believe me, and I need you not to believe me. Go and do your research instead of stunting on old people or treating them bad or acting like there's something weak about them. You should sit down with a camera and ask them some intelligent questions, because the power of the mind is that you can't conjure up intelligent answers if the nigga asking you the question is not intelligent themselves. They have to extract it from you. So how the fuck do you think that you're going to get any kind of questions answered if you niggas keep asking the same retarded ass, boring ass, 3rd grade level questions? This is all social engineering. This shit that we see our people in today. Like Kanye said, slavery is a choice, because mental slavery is a choice. You niggas have chosen this state. You've chosen to be Bible-toting Christians who only believe in the motherfucking white man hiding behind a cloud somewhere, throwing lightning bolts at people who have sex before they get married. You niggas are retarded, man, on a 10th level. You know what I'm saying? On the highest level. And it's your retardation. It's your simplifying of your minds. Like I said, you create reality. So they retarded your reality. So reality is retarded because the black mind or the black brain or the black collective is collectively retarded as fuck and dumb as ever. Like, god damn, bro. You niggas are retarded. You some simple people, bro. You're simple. And there are people who are coming here who are simpler than you, but they're looking like Einstein next to you just based off of the simple shit that they're doing that's helping them win. Why is it? And how is it? And explain it to me that the majority of different groups, racial, ethnic groups that are winning in America speak another language than English. How is that? The continental Africans speak French. The motherfucking Dominicans speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans speak Spanish. The Puerto Ricans speak Spanish. The Koreans speak Korean. The Chinese speak Manchurian. And all of them are winning. The continental Africans speak click, click, like Wakanda. And they washing you niggas. The Nigerians are washing black Americans in ways that you niggas have never imagined. So how is it that people who speak like English is their second language and they get into the bag? These niggas is buying up their neighborhood. They looking clean. They don't look stressed. They look happy. You know what I'm talking about? You're the customer now. You're just buying from them. How is that? How did they manage to get past niggas in about 10 to 20 or 30 years? And they don't even speak the Queen's English. English is not even a mandatory language. But every single ethnic group that's beating niggas, because you could pull out the chart and see where niggas are in terms of the race, Everybody that's running past you, everybody that's achieving the quote unquote American dream without selling their women into prostitution, without having to be savages on this planet, without having to become the more Greco-Roman than the Greco-Roman, all of these groups speak a different language. And like the sister said, there's Africans that speak 4 languages, 5 languages. It was something that was original. When we were Moorish, when we were in Africa, we were speaking multiple languages. We had multiple trades. You had dudes that were lawyers, they were astrologers, they drew up maps, they were architects. You know what I'm saying? They were like very accomplished men and women. They didn't have Hollywood back then. They didn't have Nickelodeon. They didn't have this school system that they created in Germany. That's the shit that's killing us. They didn't have processed foods. They didn't have GMO foods. It's just a different time. So the context, when we relate to those times, we have to bring everything to that context. You can't think about the 15 or 1400s in the same time context that you're relating to everything in this backwards upside down timeline. It's not, it doesn't work like that. Put everything into proper context. You know what I'm saying? So we're doomed as a people, you know what I mean? All around, you know what I mean? Like I just shared with you earlier, even when you have people out here who are helping or who have answers or who have solutions or who have information, it's the poverty mindedness. It's the fact that these niggas are living in lack. They're living in a lack mentality. That is a poverty minded mentality. They won't even break a few thousands of dollars to bring people in. Yo, there was times where I said, don't pay me nothing. I just want traveling board. You know what traveling board is? Traveling board is a ticket on either the China bus, or if you very far, the airplane, and board is somewhere where I go where I don't get robbed while I'm sleeping. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas ain't divas. We not asking for 5-star. We'll go Airbnb. Shit, we'll go hood B&B. We'll pull up to the promoter's house if he have an empty room. You know what I'm talking about? And we don't have roaches as visitors. Like, and they still haven't followed up. They still, why even call me if you're not gonna follow up? Like, why even inquire? Like, is this shit a bet that you niggas be doing amongst each other? Like, why even call to sound important? So we live in a time where the people are failing the people. Can't put this on nobody else. The people are letting the people down. You know what I'm saying? The people are eating the people. The people are eating on the people, fam. So it's just time to do things differently, man. Technology is changing every day. Why we can't? I'm gonna change like technology. I'm gonna just upgrade and pop up with new things on these niggas because I can't stay put. You know what I mean? I can't stay in this state right here is uncomfortable. If I don't change, I'm uncomfortable. Like I don't know about everybody else, but if I don't upgrade, if I don't practice Moore's law and upgrade every now and then I'm gonna be miserable, B. You know what I'm talking about? If I don't create, like if I can't create new videos or new content, if I can't content create, I don't feel like I'm living, bro. I just don't feel like I'm living. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day and I'm in a continuous loop of a rat race where nothing is getting accomplished. So I'm excited when I create. I'm excited about creation. I get excited about seeing other people. Like when I see Majade with her jewelry, she made this Ankh. Sister Majade, please shout her out. You know what I'm saying? When I see Kafunya with her work, when I see her at an event and she has her crystals, I get excited. When I see Sister Ella Samori and she's online and she has her classes and she's putting up new content and she got new clips and whatnot, I get excited because it's all about the creation. It's all about content. It's all about creating these paths because people are traveling on these paths and you'd be so surprised what they're finding on these paths. These paths are becoming yellow brick roads for them. I just paved the path. I'm just here with the machete cutting shit down. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just paving the path. I might come in like the dragon on Game of Thrones and just burn shit up. You know what I mean? And just clear the path. And then you have the indigos and the crystals and the new students and the people who are just waking up on the path of enlightenment. And they get on the path and the shit like a video game where it's like little coins, Sonic the Hedgehog coins and little diamonds. And they're on the path and they're just picking up all of this stuff because here we go, clearing the path. We burning the illusion. We're burning the matrix. We're ripping the curtain down. We're lifting up the veil. We're clapping down at the people who are coming for you. Y'all don't think that we holding these quote unquote suspected white supremacists at bay. I'm here to let you know this information, the strength of the information, the strength of the numbers, you know what I'm talking about? The fact that we're able to speak to the falsehoods and we completely strip them to show you that the emperor had no clothes. That shit has them shaking in their boots, man, because we're in a quote unquote information age. So this is not a physical war. This is not a physical war. It's an information war. It's a culture war. They already, Steve Bannon and them already have launched a culture war. The culture war is Make America Great Again versus hip hop. Because hip hop is being targeted as the culprit that's responsible for the tanning of America. A lot of that negative birth rate that they're revealing, that they're going through, it's because the tanning of America, right? White wombs, European wombs are giving birth to children who are not European. Not the European wombs, okay, are giving birth to children that are not European. Mulattoes or biracials is what they call them. And like I said, people have an issue with biracial or mulatto children. I ain't go to too many funerals. The niggas that I buried wasn't from no biracial niggas. They wasn't out there killing everybody. They not out there killing niggas. Like, they're not the problem. Okay? They're not out there purging our own people. Like, you niggas be acting like they're the special agents that are destroying black America. Ain't too many mulatto niggas out there moving work. You know what I mean? On my block, selling crack to niggas' moms. So y'all need to cut that stupid shit out. I would rather hold court with a biracial Obama J. Cole type than I would with a flaming Becky. Okay? Fuck is wrong with you niggas? Like, y'all kill me with that. Y'all kill me with that. You know what I mean? Stop disrespecting people because of the, you know what I mean? Stop doing that. Stop doing that. These are not evil people. They're just, some of them are confused as fuck because they have not done the science of civics and heritage. You know what I mean? They have not done a proper knowledge about the European that's in their bosom. You know what I'm talking about? But if you're the father and the mother of all humanity, then nigga, everybody got it in them anyway. If that's what it is, then we all got those dormant genes. So I can't be mad at somebody who has some drops of European Neanderthal blood. You know what I mean? I just know how to treat them. You know what I'm saying? I know the limits that you have to draw a line. You can't necessarily let them all the way in like that. But those can be allies. If we build with them. I trust J. Cole. Maybe not Drake, but I trust J. Cole to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could sit down and talk to Lisa Bonet. You know what I'm talking about? But it's just certain things I won't tell her. So, the tanning of America is a problem. Listen, Ralph, I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? You're my guy. So, the tanning of America has become an issue. This was an issue a few hundred years ago. You know what I mean? And they commenced to what was called the Reconquista. They had to reconquer Europe because there was a dark ages taking place. That dark ages had a double entendre. It was very dark because the quote unquote Rome had fell and the Vandals took over and the barbarians and savages, the people coming out of Germany. Now, based off of some research that I've been encountering, some of those Vandals were niggas. Like, dude, let's not get it fucked up. We have black Britons, black Spaniards, black Romans, black people in the Germanic tribes, because, you know, based off of the information that True Master brought back when he went to Germany in like 07, He talked about the Bavarian, the Bavarian church. The Black Pope, the Bavarian church. You know what I mean? Like the Moorish presence in Germany, and the fact that they have, the fact that Hitler was waving a black saint. You know what I mean? He was waving a black saint when he was going into war. He was waving Maurice. What was it? My dude, the patron saint, Saint Maurice, who's in black as tar. Niggas this complexion. So we got to do more research when it comes to this whole Germany thing. But the second reason why they were calling it the Dark Ages is because there was a lot of miscegenation, race mixing going on. You know what I mean? And a lot of the white women they were basically getting ran through, and they were getting, the Europeans were getting, sexed out. Bobby Hemmett talks about this in one of his lectures. They were getting sexed out, you know what I'm saying? Because you could literally run through the white race, like literally. Like, you know what I mean? If a black man plugs in, like that's one less European being born, right? So they went to war for their women, to get their women back. They went to war to make Europe white again. You know what I mean? And this war lasted it was a campaign. It must have lasted about 700 years. Inside of that war were other wars, you know what I mean? Or other programs like the Inquisition, right? Which was basically the beginning of, how you got the FBI surveillance, COINTELPRO, where they snitching, people are telling on people, they're watching you, they're surveilling you, they're torturing you, they're renditioning you, they're taking property. All of that was started with that's all Inquisition, the Inquisitors, that's the Jesuits. Then they had the Crusades. And the Crusades played a big part of 1, 2, and 3. It played a big part on that and breaking the hold that people with melanin had over their slaves, their Slavs, because you could never be a slave. You could never have been a slave. You could never identify with slaves because you're not a Slav. You could be a prisoner of war. You could be a captive. You could be in bondage, but etymology, you'll never be a Slav. Go and get the book. They were white and they were slaves. Black masters, white cargo. You were never slaves. In the Civil War, these were white people in the South who were indentured servants. Remember, they talked about them. They looked like slaves. They were barefoot, mangly hair, looking crazy, going up against the Union and whatnot. These were slaves fighting for their freedom, okay? When they fought the British or the British, they were fighting. These were Europeans fighting against people who were of color, against them having them, because black people had white indentured servitude. They called it indentured servitude. They were slaves. They were Slavs. And they had brothers and sisters from Africa enslaved or in bondage as well. Going back to what I say, if you don't understand time, if you understand the context of the times that you're talking about, you'll be under the impression that Europeans had a complete grip. Because if you have a Christian mind, that's all that you were taught. 6,000 years of rule, and nobody of any kind of color was ruling anything, because here goes the self-hate. You're not worth anything. You don't have it in you. You're a savage. Remember that shit that they taught you in Sunday school? You're a savage. You're not savvy. You didn't contribute anything to mankind. Nothing. That's what they teach you. And if you have because I remember, I'm not even Christian. I don't self-identify. I never was one. But I went to Sunday school a few times because the girl that I was talking to in my building, Regina, she was from Haitian descent. She went to Sunday school. So when she asked me to go along, nigga, I went. You know what I'm talking about? And the shit that I was hearing, I was mad young, and the shit that I was hearing was like, yo, this is some crazy buffoonery shit. Like, and I just was like, who's listening to this shit? And sure enough, all of the niggas that around my way was in church listening to that shit. All of these, you know what I'm saying? All of these Negroes. And it created an inferiority complex in a lot of people from early. They didn't think that they were worth anything. So I was getting a front row seat to watch niggas self-destruct throughout the years. You know what I'm talking about? Because you could tell who really bought into that spell where they didn't love themselves or they didn't love them people. So when they saw their people, they saw something that they hated. So it didn't really, you know what I mean? Like it justified all of the ass whoopings that were taking place. It justified all the robberies. It justified niggas getting knocked out clear in the street. You know what I mean? There was young teenagers knocking grown men out, and there was a hatred in the air, and that hatred came from Sunday school, kindergarten, and all of these places where they didn't tell us that we was glorious and notorious in Europe. Motherfuckers had to run us out because we had that shit upside down. And now you're seeing the same exact thing is going on with the migrant crisis. It's Africans going up in there, fucking all of them white women. That's what they're doing. I mean, we, if you niggas think that they're not, if you don't think that they're going through another dark ages, they're trying to they have a tanning of Europe taking place. Them Africans is in Sweden, bro. Them niggas is in Italy. The Nigerian mafia is like neck and neck with the La Costa Nostra in Italy and Sicily right now as we speak. These niggas is in France. Like they all up in Europe busting these white women clear open. Like they over there getting it in, bro. And the white women is, you know what I mean? They loving it, you know what I mean? Because it's a natural attraction. It's in their DNA. You can't stop them from running back to daddy. You know what I'm talking about? You can't stop them from running back to daddy. That's what they want. That's what they want to do. That's what they fetish over. You know what I'm talking about? Like in Europe, that's like, you know how niggas have folks, like they got urban myths. They talk about the reign of the Moors when niggas was out there running shit and you know, just selling white people, trading them, you know, teaching some of them, you know what I mean? All kind of stuff. I'm just giving you a history lesson. I'm not relishing in it. I'm just giving you a little bit of the history so you can have a context. So now, fast forward to today, Europeans are clicking up. The Europeans in America, by way of the internet, are clicking up with the Europeans in Europe, are clicking up with the South Africans in Africa, and the Europeans in Zimbabwe and stuff like that. And they're having these rallies. The rallies are based off of genealogy, or the rallies are based off of white inferiority complex. Because if you listen to what's being said in the rallies, like the one that happened in Charlottesville, like the one that happened in Poland, and like the one that's about to happen in Washington, D.C., because they just had a permit. The same people who did Charlottesville just got granted a permit to do a march right there in the Capitol. What are they saying? You will not replace us. Who's us? And who will replace you? Oh, come to find out, they talking about these niggas and these people of color who are out here dicking their women down. You will not replace us because you will not plant your seed in the wombs of our women and give birth to your nation again. Blood and soil. What's blood and soil? Blood is DNA. Blood is semen. Blood is white blood. Soil is the land. So you will not fuck our women in these trailer parks and give birth to these pygmies or these nigga babies, and they will take over the land and they will take over the family or the clan through the blood. You will not replace us, blood and soil. And what's the other rallying cry at these white marches or at these white gatherings or all of that? They have the 14 letters and whatnot that they speak of. That's a whole thing dealing with white inferiority. That's a whole thing dealing with white DNA. That's a whole thing dealing with you will not donkey fuck our women out of existence. Basically, that's what their rallying cry is. The red pill movement, go and Google the red pill movement. The red pill movement is white men banging on white women who fuck with black men. And they call them cuckolds. Cuckolds. Cuckold. You know the porns where the black man is digging the white woman out and the white husband is sitting like, oh my goodness, What's going on here? Yeah, that's a whole movement right there. And they make fun of white men, make fun of other white men that let black men debo their women. They call them cuckolds. So if you find yourself in a space where there's a white couple and the woman is like digging you or trying to push up, push her the fuck off of you and get her out of there, because that right there is a setup. That right there is a setup, and you don't want to fall for that okie doke. You don't want to go swinging with a white couple. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas get out of your lower self, because that's why they have you in their dungeons. That's why they have you in their trunks. That's why they have you in that secret fucking room or compartment in their house where nobody can hear you, because of your lower self and your lower nature. It's either your lower nature on the sexual side, or the niggas was dangling carrots and you thirsty for the money and whatnot, and you think the money equates to white people, and boom, got him. They trapped you. They got you in the trap. That's how they kidnapping niggas. That's how they stealing women off of Backspace, off of Instagram. When you women out there selling yourself, prostituting yourselves, you bitches want to twerk and whatnot, and let white people throw all of these, throw a few singles at you on Cash App. Yeah, they kidnapping y'all. You know what I'm talking about? And these niggas are doing it too. It's not just a white thing. Like, everybody is in on it, because we live in a society where sexuality, we live in a Judeo-Christian society where they suppress sexuality. You know what I'm saying? But the pornography on the internet is the number one money maker, and it has dominated the internet since day one. So we live in a purveyor society. We live in a society. We don't live in a society like Europe and other places where it's more liberated in terms of the suppression of sexual energy. They suppress sexual energy, but they sell it to you every day in advertisement. But they sell it to you in the commercials. There are women in bikinis selling beer, bro. You know what I'm talking about? The sexual suggestion. There's sexual suggestion in all of the TV shows. There's sexual suggestion in the news. When they're telling you the news, Shorty got the wild cat suit on, body fitting cat suit, nipples is goddamn erect and whatnot, telling you that it's always cold in Minnesota. So if they're suppressing the sexual energy, yet they're feeding your lustful lower self, and they're giving you all of these sexual suggestions, shit gonna get out of hand after a while. Henceforth, that's why America leads in all kind of craziness, all kind of sexual deviancy. That's why because there's a bunch of conscious sisters that are gonna go to Pride this weekend. I know this. There's a bunch of Hotep sisters and Shea Butters. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna go to Pride. But when you go to Pride to celebrate your hairdresser, when you go to Pride to celebrate the motherfucking drag queens and whatnot, pay attention to what the fuck you see. Pay attention to the deviancy that you're seeing. Pay attention to the fact that none of these people are in control of the lower self. Pay attention to the mental health case studies that you could pick out of the fucking crowd. Pay attention to the pedophilia. You know what I mean? And don't ever try to justify that fuck shit to me. Just if you want to stay in Sodom and Gomorrah, you stay in Babylon. Just don't try to send me a motherfucking a passport to come and take a trip with you. That's all. But that shit is out there because these are the prime example. This group of people that they created a flag for, you know what I mean? Just because of their sexual positions or just because of their sexual preferences, it doesn't make sense. Where are the flags for niggas that like threesomes? Where's the flags for motherfuckers that are polygamous? Where's the flag for niggas that like to give out back shots? Because if you're going to give a flag to a group of people because of their sexual orientation, then you need to do it for everybody. And what does a rainbow have to do with people who are not in line with nature? Please let me know. What does a rainbow have to do with motherfuckers that are bucking nature? Because Father's Day was just the other day. And the way that shit shows me is that if you motherfuckers have decided that you want to play inside of the Hershey Highway all your life, you'll never be a father. So if you're not a father, then what the fuck did you incarnate here to do? If you ain't come here to have children and raise them, what is your fucking purpose, bro? You know what I'm saying? What is your purpose? When you get older, Who are you living for? What's your purpose? Like, what are you doing anything for? Is it all for self-aggrandizement? You want to still wear Gucci and you still want to wear the Gucci flip-flops at 70? You know what I'm talking about? You niggas want to just save up all of your cans and your fucking bottles and whatnot and become a billionaire later on down. Is it only about the bread? So if that was the case, because that wasn't the case for a billion years and we got this far, then you niggas are creating something that goes completely against nature. It goes completely against what it is. Because granted, some niggas don't need to procreate. Granted, there's some DNA that doesn't need to stay on this planet. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. Some people don't need to recreate themselves. They need to just cut it the fuck short and just, cease the bloodline, crawl in your grave, and never come back. But that's not, you know what I mean? That's a small amount of people. That's a small amount of people. You know what I mean? When a child gets indoctrinated at 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 years old before their hormones are even activated and they get indoctrinated into a lifestyle, it's not necessarily something that they chose, it's given to them, then you're setting the people up. Then you're setting the people up for extinction. And that might be a bloodline where the ancestors want to come back through. That one man who decided that he just wanted to, play with other men for the rest of his life. He may have had some Henrietta Lacks type of DNA. He may have been the one to bring back one of our next, leaders. So I'm not, like I said, it is what it is. Like, this is the world that we live in. What I can do is try to diagnose it the best way that I can and allow other people to do what it is that they do in terms of explaining this thing, so our people don't have to walk away, confused. Because remember, we hate what we don't understand. I'm on a quest to understand man and woman. You know what I mean? I don't harbor hate for anybody, because as you can see, that shit will create wrinkles. And I'm wrinkle free. You know what I'm talking about? I try to stay wrinkle free because what is hate gonna do for me? If I hate you and I go to bed hating you, did that give you a nightmare? Did that give you a nightmare? Does that affect your sleep at all? No, it affects my sleep. I get eaten up by monsters and shit like that. And you know what I'm talking about? I get chased by, people with 3 heads. I'm going to have nightmares. I'm going to be tossing and turning in the bed. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't work. It doesn't solve anything. So hate is an emotion that, it will transform you into that which you hate. You hate what you become. No, what you hate, you eventually become. The hate that hate produced. So I talked about this before, that a lot of people in our community has mistaken pride for hate. They mistaken love for hate. The initial purpose of coming in this community was not only man know thyself, but man love thyself. Woman love thyself. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I saw, and when we say know thyself, we're not talking about race first. We're talking about you loving you first. Being able to reach out there and find anything that the teachers are, any carrots that are being dangled, any kind of batons that are being passed, any kind of gems that are being dropped that can help cure you from whatever ailment or dis-ease or issue that you may have. Everybody has their own set of issues. We didn't come up together, my nigga. I don't live in your shadow. So a lot of shit that people going through, that's some shit that they're wearing. You know what I'm talking about? You wear your own clothes. Nobody can't wear my pants for me. I wear my own clothes. So whatever you're wearing, that's what you're dealing with. So you're supposed to tap into this school of thought, knowledge, this path of enlightenment, and take the tools to help you on your journey and also to heal. So I might jump into consciousness for 1 week. And the way that the ancestors have lined it up for me, somebody might say ayahuasca. I might be going through wild depression. I might be suicidal. I might have been going through a trauma when I was young that I'm holding on to and it's stifling me. I have an eating disorder because of some shit that's inside of my stomach that I didn't necessarily let go of. There's a pain. I might have had mommy issues, so I'm dealing with some kind of thing in my relationships where I can't have a proper relationship because I keep waking up. You know what I mean? Or I might have, it's all kind of mental disorders and whatnot because I'm dealing with a core issue. So I might come into the community and hear about a treatment right away. Then I'm brave enough and I say, you know what, I'm going to go and do the ayahuasca, or I'm going to go and do the mushrooms, or I'm going to do a spiritual retreat on an island where I could unload and I could deal with these issues so I could dump the baggage and whatnot. Remember Bag Lady from Erykah Badu? I could burn the baggage. I could get rid of the baggage, not dump it on somebody else. Not create a child and transfer all of that emotional baggage into the child and then have that child under all of these spells and under all of this trauma. Not that. Not to create your own personal slave because you're a slave to your trauma. No. Dealing with it. Even if you go on an ayahuasca and you have to face the monster that's inside of you. You know what I mean? Or you go on the DMT and the monster kills you. You die as a result of a trip. But then you see when you wake up, it's like you was born again. I didn't do DMT before, but people say that it's almost like you die. But they when they were saying it to me, they were smiling and shit. Like the death was a wonderful death. I'm like, damn, my nigga, death is overrated. You know what I'm saying? And some people get lucky and they're able to heal right away. Some people are not lucky and you get spun in so many circles by so many charlatans, by so many tricksters, by so many fake ones who appeared like they were real because you came into this thing with naked eyes. You didn't use the art of discernment and you got into a marketplace or you stepped into a field where you thought you niggas was safe. You thought that you was an AME Baptist church and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas left the church and jumped into the conscious community on the internet, right? On the internet. And you thought that this was a fucking utopia. And it was niggas out here digging pockets. You know what I'm talking about? Snatching chains. Jostling niggas. All kind of shit. It was shorties out here selling bad box. I'm talking about the yoni egg is rotten. You know what I'm talking about? You thought that she was the one. You thought it was Cleopatra in the flesh. And the bitch crazy. Shit like that. So some people come into this thing not knowing what the fuck they're getting into because you're just dealing with sophisticated savages. You're dealing with savagery on a higher level. It's nothing worse than an intelligent savage. It's nothing worse than a sophisticated, at least with them niggas out there in the hood, the knuckle draggers. You could get around these niggas, especially if you're conscious, because you could just read the aura. You could just, they're easy to get by these days. Like that shit is like a cheat. When you pass certain video games and then when you go back to play it, you just be knocking out the boss up till you get to the final boss. Well, you come into this community, nigga, you're gonna meet the final bosses. You're gonna meet the final bosses. They're gonna you have to utilize the art of discernment on a level unseen before. You know what I'm saying? This is the secret boss. Like there's motherfuckers in a cut that you would never think are out here to try to take your life, or take your wife, or take your little money and whatnot. These niggas is bruh. Don't sleep on it. You know what I mean? Utilize the art of discernment. This is a test. This is to sharpen your sword. This is to make you never dependent on another man or woman. This is to make you as the person stronger. This is to shatter this Christian programming that man is perfect. That's what this lesson is for. Shatter that. Throw that away. You know what I'm talking about? Get rid of that. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm talking about? No, this is nigga. This still is a motherfucking pool of sharks. You with orca now. You know what I mean? This is some great white sharks up in this bitch. Like, it's whales up in this motherfucker swallowing sharks, squids, octopus, and all of that in one fell swoop. Like, this is to make you stronger. And then when you begin to evolve and you unpack and you unload, and then you begin to realize that it's the teacher is looking at himself in the mirror. You know what I mean? You can teach yourself by navigating through this community the proper way. And then some niggas, they bow out. Oh, I'm going back to being a nigga. Oh, I'm going back to working at, you know what I mean, at Western Beef. Oh, I'm going back to being a prostitute. Oh, I'm going back to selling drugs. All of them get beheaded in the first scene of the movie. Like, you think you'll never be able to go back. You know what I'm saying? Remember when Cypher went back to the Matrix? You can't go back. Once you unplugged and took the red pill, my nigga, and you woke up and you was eating you was wearing burlap and eating motherfucking oatmeal for dinner, nigga, you're in the Matrix. There's no going back. You know what I'm saying? The shit, we burn the ships when we come over here. You can't go back to the nigga world because they're not gonna treat you like they treated you when you was a card carrying nigga. You know what I mean? They're gonna smell the whole tep on you. They're gonna smell it on you and they're gonna take advantage of you and do you dirty, bruh. You're gonna be like Ginger in Casino. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like Ginger in Casino. You're gonna get done dirty, bruh. So you're stuck right here. You're stuck on Fantasy Island with all of the hoteps, right? You gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out. You can't live through nobody in this community. This is not a video game. You can't live through none of these teachers. The teachers got the same fucking mental disorders that you got. They just have learned how to hide that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Sophisticated savages. They've learned how to mask certain things. But it's not about following. Nobody's gonna take you to an island on some survivor shit and set up, you know what I mean, the wild igloo for you niggas to live in and teepees and whatnot. And you know what I mean? You're gonna grow mangoes out of your fertilized shit. And you know what I mean? There's gonna be a yoni egg giveaway. Like, cut it out, bro. Cut it out. You're in motherfucking you're in Babylon while it's falling. You're here to witness the falling of Jericho's walls are collapsing, little nigga. What the fuck are you doing while it's collapsing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you preparing mentally for reality to be like after this shit falls apart? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know what people be buying into. I don't know what kind of vision that people have for, I don't know what these niggas are selling y'all. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even good weed. It's K2. You niggas is on conscious K2 these days, wigging out. Like, you're in fantasy land, bro. You're not using your senses. You're not focusing on self. You got to focus on yourself. You can't build a nation if you're fucking broken. You can't think about saving the people if you niggas is, you know what I mean? If you're running from your own demons. It doesn't work, because even if the story that I put up comes true, that the sun wipes out, because in Australia and in South Africa, the cancer is the highest. And guess who's over there? Not just regular white people. In South Africa and Australia, they committed acts of genocide against the native population. They wiped them clean. They wiped them clean. So don't ask me to have a fucking heart. You know what I mean? When I see that Mother Nature is doing what Father Time can't do, and that's clean up this fucking planet. Don't ask me to have a heart. I am having a heart by posting information that you niggas should be focusing on. Because if 100,000 melanated people woke up daily and kept reading those articles and was able to envision inside of their third eye what these motherfuckers that they're telling the sun, like, yo, I need you to hurry up. Like, I need your sun rays to come faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need this bitch to heat the fuck up. Like, all of this weird weather patterns. Like, we need you to completely stick on, keep your oven on 400. You know what I mean? Speed it up. if we focused on that versus focusing on all of these babies getting killed and all of this black on black stuff and all of this shit that you niggas don't have answers for, we might see more results. We might see faster results because that's the only ally that we have. Who else can we depend on but the sun? The Koreans are not riding for you. You know what I mean? The Chinese ain't riding. The Arab, not the goddamn Dominicans and them. Nobody's riding for us. Let's be clear. The Mexicans could give a fuck. Nobody's riding for us. They want your position. They want the trappings that you niggas have. They only want your perks. You know what I'm saying? They want your benefits. They don't want anything else. And they don't even see that you have benefits. The only benefits that you had was how much you was getting per hour. And they came and passed that. So they really not really, you know what I mean? Like, you're in the way. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, it's like my grandfather told me this. My grandfather fought World War II. My grandfather said, if you and another man and a woman were ever on a deserted island, he said the first thing that you got to do is kill that man. I was like, damn, that's kind of harsh. Fuck is you talking about? He said, listen, I've been to war, bro. You know what I'm talking about? He had an accent, but I can't repeat. I don't know his accent, you know. I'm a nigga. I don't know. I don't got these accents. He said, I was in war, bro. He said, it takes war to see the nature of man. He said, if you don't kill that man is going to kill you. Because that man's natural instincts are going to kick in. His survivor instincts is going to kick in. And you're going to become a liability with that pussy on the island. And he's going to kill you. Because you, him, and the woman, that can't last. Because of the power of that woman. So I'm using that analogy to show you that there's no nation that really wants you in their nation, or they don't want you with their women because they love their women too much to just give them up. So you need to focus on what Tariq said. Tariq Nasheed, grab your own balls or your own nuts. You know what I mean? And war will show, war will show you the true nature of man. And not a lot of you have seen that. You niggas think you seen it when your boyfriend got all upset and whatnot, or you might have saw some bum fights, or you was at the MMA fight or what. No, that's not the true nature of man. You have not seen the barbarity of man. You have not seen the savagery of man. You ain't see it. A lot of us haven't seen it. And some of us who have seen it are on psychotropic drugs because they can't handle the rewinding of the tape. They can't handle what they saw. You need to avoid war at all costs. Even though I'm identifying that there's a war on our people as I'm speaking. Spiritual war, economic. There's a soft war going on. The police, the race soldiers are out here committing a Hunger Games. It's like that it's a war on that aspect. And still, I would say to you, if you can avoid it, I'm talking about full out war. If you can ever avoid it, do everything in your power to avoid it, because it's a Pandora's box that you can't close. You catch 50 bodies, then what? You think you could be normal again? You see mad people getting their heads cut off. You think you can't unsee certain things. You don't want your children's innocence to be completely taken from them because it's already being taken from them via, what they're exposed to because of the internet and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? The access that they have to damn near anything. We didn't have that when we were young. You know what I'm saying? But the children of today, they have that access and they're seeing things that they can't unsee. And you could tell. You know what I'm saying? You could tell. So it's getting pretty late, I'm sure we chopped up a lot of stuff, but next Monday on the Melanin Mondays, we're going to follow up with this conversation, especially some of the articles that were coming out this weekend dealing with this whole mortality rate thing, because it ties into the Fear of a Black Planet Part 2 lecture that we're doing with Griff. We're doing something with Professor Griff in Baltimore in August, and we're also doing it in Norfolk, Virginia in August. Me and Blue and Griff will be doing two-day series. I think it's the 17th. Hold on. The 24th and the 25th, and the 17th and the 18th. The 17th and the 18th is going to be Norfolk, and the 24th and the 25th will be B-more. Baltimore on Saturday and Maryland on Sunday. And that's going to be Fear of a Black Planet 2, Deaf Culture. You know what I mean? You know how Migos have the album called Culture? Well, we're going to redo that and put Deaf on it, because this generation and a lot of the stuff that's being promoted via the music industry, especially the music industry of today, where the target audience is 17-year-olds to 25-year-olds, we're going to have to and analyze, what are these billion-dollar record industries bankrolling? What's the message? What are they putting their money behind? What are they, what are they opening up all of these channels? Because they're controlling the streams. They're controlling all of the festivals, like the Lapa, rolling out loud. All of the big festivals that take place over the summer, where our people get in front of hundreds of thousands of teenagers and other children and people of their age demographics, and they share messages, you know what I mean? Or they impress upon the impressionable minds of the youth, their marching orders. So we're going to talk about the deaf culture, because this XX thing over the week completely dominated the airwaves. It's still dominating to an extent. It's Friday, and the XXX story is still dominating my timeline. I can't see anything else. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason behind that. There's a reason why the impact of his passing is so strong, because niggas die every day. You know what I mean? Rappers die. There's a lot of rappers that die daily. So when you see somebody have such an impact and reverberate with the youth and the adults, because a lot of adults are getting put on to his music. Now it's safe to listen to it because he's dead. And because we're in a deaf culture, you become more famous and more popular when you die. So we're going to get into it. You know what I mean? We're going to explore that. And I'm renaming him XXX10 Tachyon, not Tashion. Tachyon Energy. Go and research Tachyon Energy. Tychon or Tycion. Tachyon, or the Tachyon Energy. Delbert Blair and Valentine talked about that a lot. The Tachyon Energy. It's an energy that moves faster than light and sound. So XXX is the number 26, which is 666, and then 10, Tachyon. So he's XXX10 Tachyon, because that nigga's energy has grown 10 times exponentially ever since his untimely demise. He's become immortalized. He succeeded, and his case will be a case study on immortalizing oneself in this new attention, because XXX10 Tachyon, you know what I mean? Or XXX, as he explained it, Extacion is Spanish for temptation. You know what I'm talking about? And his temptation is very, you know what I mean? He has a very strong temptation, but we're going to talk about how to immortalize oneself in the social media era, because you can do that. You can do that if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? If that's what you want to do, if you want to immortalize yourself before you know what I mean? So you don't have to come back and necessarily repeat the same thing, or when you come back, you'll come back leveled up. That little nigga's case. will show you how he he started out in the lower chakra, in the red chakra, and right before he died, he succeeded with elevating his energy or his image, right? Or his message. I could tell that his heart got lighter because I was listening to his blog posts. I was listening to his lives, like we doing a live there. He elevated, he was able to balance, he was able to lift up those chakras, and then he left. Yeah. So the only thing left is his body of work. And they said that he procreated before he died, so his seed will be, better than him, apparently. But, his body of work will be the determining factor. You know what I'm saying? And based off of the conversations that he was having and the level of intelligence that he was displaying, I already know what his new music is going to sound like. It hasn't come out yet. But the body of catalog that he left already, it's emotional. It's emo. It's about being sad. It's about being depressed. It's about suicide. Jocelyn Flores, he has the song "Sad" that's on the top of the charts. So until people stop being sad, and until people stop identifying with depression and anxiety and killing themselves, he'll never go out of style. And the new generation that are online, the online generation that are being born into the internet era, because of narcissistic personality disorder, because of anxiety, because of cyberbullying, and all of the things that take place in this interesting field called social media, that nigga's gonna be a legend. Because he's speaking directly to the children who are being born here who don't want to be here. They reincarnated because they fucked up along the lines probably. They're like, damn, I don't want to come back to this bitch. So they're not even anchored in this world. They're leaving this shit at 11 years old and 12 and 13. They're leaving it because they never wanted to be here. But if you're going to leave, and I don't suggest that anybody leaves like that, but he was immortalized before he left. That's all I'm saying. Some niggas live to be 80 years old and 100, and you got long legacy and mad grandchildren. You know what I mean? You got the family picnic. You know what I mean? You chewing on orange pills like that Godfather, and you die in your vineyard. And then some people die at 20. With minimal accomplishments. But maybe some of their accomplishments are bigger than somebody who was here for 80 years. Just based off of the contract. And you might have no children, or maybe one. You know what I'm saying? And then you out. Pew! So, like I said, we'll talk about it. All right? But love and light to the family. Like I said, go get the project. Okay? We'll build. Peace.